Greetings, my name is Lemuel Raúl Rio Santiago, and today I'll be talking about my project on the performance of 3D printing during the COVID-19 pandemic for the course of INTD 3355. Objectives: to provide an introduction towards the role of 3D printing during the COVID-19 pandemic, to demonstrate an overview on 3D printing materials used in 3D printing for COVID-19 and types of equipment that are printed by 3D for COVID-19, to present and explain developed product, and lastly, to summarize key points of literature review. Introduction. Coronavirus 2019, or the SARS-CoV-2, formerly known as 2019 nCoV, is a type of human-caused disease caused by acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. The most crucial difficulty is the absence of COVID-19 military equipment. Recently, there has not been enough personal protective equipment or PPE for hospital staff in the front lines during this alarming period. 3D printing or additional production or AM has received incredible attention due to its fast and awesome 3D architecture from various precious materials. Flexibility in building, construction, waste minimization, bulk customization, and sophisticated crafts are notable features of this printing method. Finally, I chose the topic on the performance of 3D printing during the COVID-19 pandemic due to the effectiveness and low-cost applications to the COVID-19 health mitigation and assessment emergency. On the right side of the presentation, we can observe some of the 3D printing applications for COVID-19 mentioned, such as medical devices, towards 3D printing isolation wards for mesh-free dwellings. Overview of 3D printing. The opportunity to print 3D arose in the 1980s, and since then it has continued to print materials and components that find applications in various fields. Initially, 3D construction was planned to use a computer-assisted computer program or CAD, or 3D scanner or photogrammetry, a combination of images from various locations. 3D printing has been contributing sensationally towards industry, the scholarly community, and is a pertinence to different fields and as of late in taking care of pandemic. Lastly, 3D printing has been a passion for the industry, the academic community, and is critical in various fields and has been around for a long time. On the right side of the presentation, we can observe these factors ranging from materials as of ceramics towards wax and technologies ranging from durability towards application factors. Materials used in 3D printing for COVID-19. Considering custom-made medicine, which is an essential future region, 3D printing is a good idea. For example, a wide range of biomaterials, polymeric biomaterials, hydrogel, art-based, and compounds have been used and made as 3D construction inks with a wide range of size and durability. Tissue formation can be used to treat the damage caused by COVID-19, but 3D printing in the field of tissue design is limited due to the biomaterials used in this innovation. Lastly, proteins, common polymers, are commonly used considering their fundamental properties such as environmental flexibility, material compatibility, and high availability. On the right side of the presentation, for example, we can observe an N95 mask, which is composed of different factors and materials ranging from polyurethane that can be printed via fused deposition modeling or FDM, exhalation valves made of polyvinyl chloride or PVC. And lastly, for example, acrylonitrile, butadiene, styrene, or ABS, which is the plastic that can be printed via fused deposition modeling or FDM. Some of the materials are available, but I'm going through one of the basic materials in which it's composed of. Equipment that are 3D printed for COVID-19. For this section, I focused on the three main materials or equipment which have been featured during this pandemic. The first one are the ventilators, in particular, venturi valves. Critical components of that respiratory aid gear have proved difficult to replicate or replace when correcting this deficiency. To go more into detail, venturi valves help ventilators to equip and modelize the respiratory system process and application towards the patient's one. And this helps aid respiration difficulties that the patients might have present. Face masks. This refers to PPE, which protects the wearer from airborne particles and liquid contamination of the face. This is referred to as face shields, and there are a few 3D printed programs. Lastly, face shields. These essential gadgets include a reusable removable headband where a self-adhesive plastic sheet is assembled to create face protection, eye protection, and mouth protection. At the right side of the presentation, we can observe these equipments or factors. The first one being an assembled ventilator through CAD programs for 3D manufacturing. And lastly, a face mask, which is being an N95 mask and a face shield for advanced protection towards airborne particles and other factors pertaining to COVID-19 towards human. Environmental solutions and printed equipment disinfection. Environmental design in COVID-19 requires immediate safety measures and setting individual coverage by direct contact with articles or areas, for example, access handles. Bare plating that prevents such transfers can have far-reaching consequences. This design to print income capture decorations can be produced in many 3D print categories. Lastly, the current CDC rules for printed sterilization for cleansing and sanitation in medical services offices define 3 necessary bacterial destruction levels: cleaning, sanitation, and disinfection. Pertaining these levels of bacterial destruction are featured on the right side of the presentation through a Cummings Inc. employee cleansing, disinfecting, and sterilizing 3D printed products for medical use. The product. The product was based on development of infographic design. The title or the topic was positioned at top for optimized understanding. The determined forming parts were of overview, materials, equipment, and environmental solutions and printed equipment disinfection. Black with transparent background images were used for ergonomic visualization, as we can observe on the right side of the presentation. For example, images being mostly black color and the backgrounds with other patterns and features being transparent. Iconic quote referring to mask use from Dr. Anthony Fauci was included for universal pathway and understanding of this infographic product. And lastly, references that were used to develop this infographic were attached for the research if needed from users, etc. Conclusion: polymeric materials have essential advantages such as simplicity, high accessibility, orderliness, and union and novel mechanical properties of the body structure and support, but their polymers provide an imbalanced combination. It is a clear significant role for 3D printing against COVID-19 in the chemical production of face masks and face shields. Auxiliary accessories, a door opener, and a button pusher were found as opportunities too. Transfers from entry handles can be public and clinical focused frauds that often have multiple access points intended to protect the patient or control, especially during arrests during the epidemics. On the right side of the presentation, we can observe a visualization of the COVID-19 virus being disintegrated or destroyed. That is something that we all want, but for now we need to protect ourselves, vaccinate ourselves if necessary, and at the same time pertain through distance efforts. Lastly, the references. If anybody wants to learn more about this topic and more about the factors and the subjects that were used in this presentation, you can use these references that were attached. Thank you for your attention.